Marysville Roundtable, a discussion on current events, sports, and entertainment.
Hello and welcome to Marysville Roundtable. I'm your host, Thomas LeCavalier, and today we're talking about robotics. Here we have three members from our robotics team: Ciara George, a captain on the team and our drive coach; Reese Latt, a second-year builder and our driver; and Mackenzie Klepp, a programmer in her senior year and our drive team technician. Here is the first question. Ciara, although the matchups were tough, what was your favorite part about the state competition?
My favorite part is learning how to communicate with people before a match. My job as drive coach is to communicate with other teams and develop a strategy. And a lot of the other teams' drive coaches aren't students. They're a lot of mentors and adults. And learning how to communicate with people older than me without being intimidated is really challenging and exciting for me.
So what do you guys think?
My favorite part about the state competition was just being there. From the start, our goal at the beginning of the season was to make it to states. And after Walled Lake, we learned our robot was very professional and well done, and we felt confident we would do pretty well at states.
My favorite part would have to be just being there, meeting all the other teams, the button collecting we do, running around, all the hectic stuff.
All right, so which of the three competitions, Rochester, Walled Lake, and the state championship, did you enjoy the most and why?
Walled Lake by far. Walled Lake, I feel like we really exceeded our expectations. Rochester didn't go so great as we had a lot of like minor mechanical issues and little minor bugs that kind of happened. But Walled Lake, it was different, and I was excited the whole time. And you could see it on everybody's face that they were just enjoying it the whole time. And making it to semifinals is just exhilarating, and it's just so much fun.
I'll have to agree with Ciara. Walled Lake was a very interesting place. Rochester was kind of a dumpster fire. And at Walled Lake, we finally accepted our robot and knew it was worthy. And our last semifinal match, we scored 100 to 113 against the Robo Jackets in their alliance, which was pretty impressive.
The number one team in the state. So, I mean, it was a pretty big. And to score 100 in this game, which is kind of rare, at least in the district competition, to score 100 and still lose is nothing to hang your head about. It was amazing.
That's probably one of our best matches.
Oh, for sure.
This might sound rather weird, but I actually enjoyed Rochester.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know. Even through all the mechanical errors, I think it was more the thrill of finding out how a robot was actually working for the first time.
Yeah.
And not more about, wow, look at all this dumpster fire of the mess we've made. It was more of like, wow, we know what not to do now. That was very interesting, and I was very proud because that's where I found out my code was working, and it was untested, and we just went there, and it was like, we were using that the entire time? It was very interesting.
So what is your guys' favorite part of robotics in general?
My favorite part of robotics is the amount of experience you gain while on the team. From a builder standpoint, you get a lot of learning time how to use tools safely and properly. So this also sets you up for the future for job positions.
Mine is the people. Like, not even the people, I love our team, and I love everybody on the team because I'm friends with most of them outside of school, and the people in the team are great. But then you also get to meet the people outside the team and make friendships. And I made friendships at Walled Lake, and I still talk to those people even after competition's done. And it's just meeting new people and getting out there and talking to people is just great.
My favorite part would have to be the gracious professionalism. Like when we're at a competition, if you need help, somebody from other teams are willing to help. I really enjoy that it doesn't matter much about the competition. It's more about helping others and trying to make sure everybody has a fun time. Like, we'll help Richmond's high school with the robotic team all the time, and it's just fun to communicate with the other teams and have all that connections and have fun while doing it.
Yeah, you help one team, they help you back. That's the whole point of FIRST, is it's not just about winning. Some teams don't know that, but it's not just about winning, but it's about community and friendship and relationships and learning. It's just, robotics is a great experience overall.
Yeah. So what was your favorite memory from this season?
Oh,
that's going to be a hard one.
During states, sometimes the controllers, like Reese gets one controller and then Brady, our operator, gets one controller. And sometimes they'd be backwards. And whenever they were backwards, Reese and Brady simultaneously would yell, "Switch!" And it was a good laugh. Another good laugh was like when they were setting up the robot before a match. When Brady put the cargo in, all of our team would clap in the stands because he forgot to put it in one time.
My favorite memory was during the build season, different groups of robotics students would work on a different piece of the robot, and it was really satisfying to see all those parts coming together and seeing the robot operate for the first time on our little practice facility.
I think it's my fault that the controllers were switched because it actually was, because I'm technician. I'm supposed to make sure they're not switched. So like, yeah, I would be like, did they get switched again? Because I could just hear them. And I really enjoyed the fact that every single time we started a match, we would do the Macarena.
That's the best.
But yeah.
So Ciara, as a captain, what was the biggest challenge that you faced this season?
Being a captain. Honestly, it was, well, and being drive coach. Being a captain on the robotics team, it isn't about being in charge and it isn't about controlling others. It's about leading and teaching. When you're a captain on the team, it's more about being a mentor than it is being superior to your teammates, which I would never want anybody on the team to think that. So instead of telling people what to do, you teach and you guide, and learning to do that is quite the hurdle. And being drive coach is quite the hurdle because you have to be able to be assertive without being bossy. So when I have to tell them to do something, like say there's a piece of cargo over on the opposite end of the field, I can't just yell at them, "Go get that cargo right now." And like, that's kind of aggressive, and nobody's really going to want to listen to you if you talk like that. But if you tell them, "Hey, when you get a chance, go get that," that piece is way more accessible than others. It's being able to communicate properly is a big challenge for anybody, really.
Yeah. So what was the biggest challenge in like building or programming?
In building, trying to get our catapult system to work.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
So our catapult, which is our main shooter, that took a lot of time and trial and error in designing and making it perfect.
In the programming aspects, I would have to say getting time to actually test our stuff on the robot. Like, there were a couple times, like, when we got into Rochester, we found out that we were using an untested Auton that entire time.
Right.
Which I was shocked that it was working. And then we got an autonomous award for it, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah. that was a big accomplishment, is the autonomous award. I don't think we've ever earned that. And
No.
and it was really exciting because one of our alumni comes back and mentors, and he helped a different team get the autonomous award in 2020, and then this year we got it, and it was just a big accomplishment for everybody because programming is such a huge part of the robot. You literally cannot move the robot without programming.
So how does it feel to have qualified for the state championship for the first time since 2016?
Amazing.
I was really shocked by it. I was like, oh, we're gonna get it, we're gonna get it, we're not gonna get it. And then we got it, and I was like, ah! And just started screaming.
I was really excited because I've been to 2 state championships, but not FRC. It was FTC over at the middle school along with a super regionals, and I'd never seen a FRC states, and I was like, it'd be so cool to go. Even if like we weren't competing, it'd still be cool to go. And it was cool to go. And it was, especially to compete, and it was just amazing.
I thought it was pretty cool as well. The only time I've been to a state championship was I was in middle school, and that was my first year. And to be able to feel the rush and excitement again this season was tremendous.
Just walking out there, seeing all the people in the stands going crazy,
That's
all the hype.
scary. All the people,
Oh, yeah.
it's kind of terrifying.
There's so many people.
So what got you guys into the robotics program in the first place?
I was in middle school, and I walked in. It was well, I was in 5th grade, and it was middle school orientation. And I was walking down the hallway, and she's like, "Well, this is the 8th grade science teacher. He coaches robotics," and there was a flyer. And I saw the flyer. I picked it up. I took it home, and I was like, "Dad, look at this. It's robotics," because I love science, and I've always loved space and like space rovers and stuff like that. But I just thought it was really cool, and I was like, cool. And here I am, 6 years later, still doing it.
What got me into it was I was walking the halls in middle school, and by the office they have a bunch of flyers, and I saw a flyer for it. And I was like, well, I've wanted to look for something to do after school, and I like building stuff with my hands and doing stuff with my hands, so I thought I'd give this a try.
Yeah.
And I'm still here.
Well, my story's kind of funny, actually. I went to Jimmy's Frozen Custards to get ice cream, right? There was the entire robotics team there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they were like, hey, you want to join robotics? I was a freshman. I had no friends. I didn't talk to people. And I was like, sure. And then 5 seconds later, I'm on the team, and I'm going to the girls' event that next year. And I'm like, this is fun. And I continued, and now I'm a senior, and I'm still on the team.
That's really cool.
Yeah, but the way of joining is just, it's different for everybody, because some people are recruited via like, hey, we're looking for new recruits, like you were. And then there's other people who join because their friends are in it, and there's other people who just have been in it. And I love it. I volunteer outside of school too. I'll volunteer at FTC events because I love the atmosphere. It's you go to a football game, and it's like, especially homecoming, that's the energy, but every team has that energy, and it's awesome because they're all from different school, all different places, and it's just amazing.
Like for me, I've always been big into like sci-fi and stuff like that, and I've always been big into like RC cars and Legos and stuff. So when I saw that I could join the robotics program, I was like, hey, I can build a robot. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's time consuming, that's for sure. It's a lot of like, I'll say to people, robotic, like I went back to work after 2 weeks of missing work from competition. I went back to work and they're like, where have you been? I'm like, robotics ate my life.
After graduation, do you plan on pursuing a robotics-related career?
From a building standpoint, I plan to use the skills that I've learned from being a builder and apply them to mechanic work. I wanted to go into that type of field.
I plan on, mine's still gonna include technology. I'm not gonna be working with robots or super like mechanical work, but I wanna work in media, like digital media and animation and video graphics, because that stuff is interesting to me, but it also includes technology, and that stuff is always growing.
So I am a senior, so I am graduating this year, and I do plan on going to college. I am going to be going to college for computer programming. So yeah, I do. That's basically the same thing I do now.
Yeah.
I've already started. I'm in tech, and I do programming there, and so I'm already certified in 3 languages.
Oh, wow. That's really good. That is all for today's Robotics Roundtable. Thank you all for coming. I hope you're all looking forward to next year's season. I'm Thomas LeCavalier for M6, your hometown station.
Marysville Roundtable, a discussion on current events, sports, and entertainment.